On this video, we're going to go over on how to find the inverse of a rational function. Here we have a rational function. We're going to start by writing it as y is equal to 2x plus 3 over x minus 1. Our goal is to solve for x. So we're going to start by multiplying everything by x minus 1. This is going to end up being x times x minus 1. That is going to be equal to 2x plus 3. Now that we have everything at the same level of the equal sign, we are going to expand by multiplying y by this binomial. So this is going to become yx minus y. That's going to be equal to 2x plus 3. Our next step is going to move every x term to the left-hand side of the equation. That means this and this. Those two terms must end up on the left-hand side. We're going to have yx minus 2x. That's going to be equal to y plus 3. So everything else must be on the right-hand side. Then we're going to factor the x. That's why we move all of the x terms to the left-hand side. So if we factor the x on the left-hand side, it's going to end up as x times y minus 2. And this is y plus 3. Then just a matter of dividing by y minus 2. This is y plus 3 divided by y minus 2. And now we have to just write it in a way where the y is going to take the place of the x and the x the place of the y. X plus 3 divided by x minus 2. So that's basically the inverse function. We just have to write it using the correct notation. X plus 3 divided by x minus 2. We're going to start by finding the domain of the original function using the denominator of the function. So the value that should be excluded from the domain is 1. That means that our domain is going to be the interval going from minus infinity to 1 and from 1 to infinity. And on the inverse function, the value that should be excluded from the domain is 2. So the domain is going to go from minus infinity to 2 and from 2 to plus infinity. And as you know, the domain of the original function becomes the range of the inverse function, and the domain of the inverse function becomes the range of the original function. So this is going to be minus infinity to 2, and then the interval going from 2 to infinity, and minus infinity to 1, and from 1 to infinity.